Hi everybody, this is Dan Stolbarger. Welcome to this week's Middle East update. The date is January 22nd, and we're going to look back at the events that have transpired this week pertaining to the Middle East. And so we always begin with our news bites, but just a reminder, what's behind me, the PDF PowerPoint, is available without my head in the way. On the YouTube site, there should be a link and you can click that. Sometimes I don't have enough time to cover everything, so it's an advantage for you to get that. And likewise, this week, there's a lot to go over. So let's jump in right now. I usually begin with what I call our news bites. I find this sad. No other words to put it. But only 5 out of 87 human rights experts in the UN spoke out about the atrocities that have taken place in Iran. Again, no Jews, no news. Over 16,000 killed in 1 week, over 300,000 injured, and the world silent. Once again, no news, no Jews, no news. Okay, Israel has informed the United States that as it assesses what it can handle, they believe that they can absorb a worst-case Iranian scenario of a barrage of about 700 ballistic missiles. I guess they're giving the green light because, in their words, we'll absorb it. It will be costly, but if it causes to lead to the absolute collapse of the Islamic Republic, then it will be worth it. Returned hostage, Eitan Moore, in regards to Hamas now, he said he was amazed by how much intelligence he saw that was available to Hamas during his time in captivity. His quote, "They will not give up. Many of them told me, quote, until the last Israeli is removed from here, we will keep kidnapping and we will keep fighting. Jihad is the highest commandment in our religion, and they are obsessed with killing us. It's their life purpose." And then a couple more for news bites. Trump just announced yesterday, he just revealed, at least it's what he said, that the U.S. now knows the location of the last remaining body, a hostage, Ronnie, in Gaza. So now that we know where it's at, let's get it back to Israel. Let's get him home. And finally, I guess it's a bit of good news. This is a first. Having been to the Temple Mount many times, this caught my attention. Israel police are now allowing Jewish prayer sheets onto the Temple Mount. So the status quo used to be that any religious symbols, Bibles, books were always barred, but now prayer books and, again, apparently these prayer sheets are now available, or you can now go onto the Temple Mount with these in your hands. All right, now we've got a simple slide that, let me step out of the way, that I've just given a to. The peace in the Middle East, the Board of Peace. Just today, on the sidelines in Davos, Trump did the Trump sort of thing and had a press conference announcing all of this. So let's talk a little bit about this Board of Peace. To date, Saudi Arabia, Turkey, Egypt, Jordan, Qatar, Pakistan, Indonesia have formally announced that they're joining Trump's Peace Council. Putin has agreed to join the Peace Council. And just yesterday afternoon, Bibi Netanyahu agreed. So think about it. Where's Europe? Where's France, Italy, Britain? This seems to be pretty heavily weighted on the Islamic side. Oh, unless, of course, as you know, Trump's made available anyone that wants a seat in this new order is welcome, but it's just going to cost you $1 billion. So again, many of the NATO members and many of European members are basically, what they're seeing is Trump's attempt to usurp and create his own United Nations. And so they're withholding their support. I don't really know what to say other than I'm concerned with the makeup of this board through the lenses, at least through the lenses of Israel. And then the next article says tension is building. There seems to be a divide, whether it's real or imagined, that's taking place now between at least the Trump administration and Israel. We've heard Bibi say in 10 years, we want to distance ourselves and no longer need the support from the United States that we now absolutely need. And then in regards to this Board of Peace, Bibi has basically saying Qatar, Turkey, no boots on the ground in Israel or in Gaza. That's a red line for us. And U.S. officials have come out and just said to Bibi, they've made this public. We've worked over him. He can't go against us. Bibi's fumed at this Gaza oversight panel makeup that Trump has invited Erdogan from Turkey to the Board of Peace or whatever. And the response from the United States or from Trump's administration was simply, this is our show, Bibi, not yours. And then just the other day, I read that Trump has chided Bibi in regards to the Iron Dome and saying, stop taking credit for the Iron Dome. That's American technology. So I don't know. Maybe tensions are building. The one thing that we do know biblically and prophetically, there will come a day that Israel will stand alone. Again, no Jews, no news. Sad. That's the only thing, once again, I can say. Just keep this in mind if you can let it simmer a bit. Between October 7th, 2023, Hamas brutally invading from the Gaza into the kibbutzes in the Gaza envelope, I guess you would call it. But between October 7th, 2023 and January 14th, 2026, researchers analyzed that there were more than 181,000 social media posts from 20 major organizations, including groups like Doctors Without Borders, the UN Human Rights, etc. And of only 3 of those groups, of that 181,000 social media, only 3 explicitly has come out to condemn the Iranian regime. And again, whether it's 12, 14, 16, 20,000 protesters have been butchered and killed. So again, is this just another case of this no Jews, no news? Human rights have become, these organizations have become so anti-West that mass murder in Iran is literally being ignored. The only thing they're concerned about is tainting and demonizing the US and Israel. But either way, just so you know, if you're looking for someone to protect your rights, you're going to be looking at the wrong country. if you're looking to the United States or Israel, you cannot count on any kind of international support. I have this t-shirt on the right that said civilizations, nations, and empires that have tried to destroy the Jewish people. If you're in Israel, you'll see this t-shirt marketed all over the place. And then, of course, you have that list of Egypt, Philistines, Assyria, Babylon, Persia, Greek, Roman, and on, with the X mark saying gone, 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 gone. And at the end, it says the Jewish people, the smallest of nations, but with a friend in the highest places. So you better be nice. I just saw this posted. So it's that infamous copycat Palestinian Gazan situation. So there was a poet, a Gazan poet, that wrote this: "Do not believe that the land will not return. How much has this land been occupied? How much defilement? How many soldiers have trodden upon it?" So where are the soldiers? Where are the rules of the Greeks, the Tartars, the Romans, the Persians, the Crusaders? Where's the rule of the English? Where are their soldiers? One day, you'll grow up and ask, where is the rule of the Jews? So once again, really? Okay, one of the sources that I use quite a bit from the Middle East, from Israel, is Amit Segal. And so this is in terms of Witkoff and Hamas and this implementation of the second phase. So let me give it to you in detail. When Witkoff was asked about leverage over Hamas, he maintained that the group could be persuaded that disarmament was in its own interests. Quote, this is Steve: "I think we can show Hamas that disarmament is the right thing for a long-term peace and for the future." And, you know, think about it as he's talking to Hamas. We can rebuild, we can create the sort of the Riviera of the Med and Gaza or whatever. So it's in your best interest. And Amit goes on to say, and so I have to ask anyone in this position, that can they be that naive, that stupid, as he would say, that totally devoid of understanding of the goals of Hamas? Hamas is not interested in peace. Hamas has no interest whatsoever in the ways in which Trump can beautify Gaza. Witkoff doesn't he have any advisors that can sort of teach him these basic truths? Hamas is interested in one thing and one thing only: killing Jews and taking down Israel. That's it. And then we have the Iranian perspective of what's going on. The Ayatollah has basically come out, and who knows, as the world's looking at it today. I mean, by the time this report goes off, it could be, Trump could have attacked Iran, but at this particular time, in the eyes of his supporters and his opponents alike, he's survived. And it's something close to invincible. And yet, in this report, despite these gains, long-term Iran, this regime remains on the brink. Economics, public legitimacy, the extreme violence, just the basics of life are being denied the Iranian people. How much longer can this last? And then we have the red line. Israel and Hamas, this is, you got to turn in your weapons, right? Jerusalem is taking things in their own hands. And of course, with the approval of Trump, Jerusalem has notified the Hamas leadership that now that the U.S. has moved forward with the implementation of phase 2 of the Gaza plan, including the establishment of an apparatus for managing Gaza and administrating aid, Hamas now has 2 months to surrender its arsenal or be forcibly disarmed by Israel. 2-month warning. Start the clock. March 22nd, 2026. The IDF is currently drawing up plans, preparing for this new possible Gaza campaign. If I were a betting man, I think it's just a matter of time, because there's no way that I can conceive of Hamas disarming literally without being forced to. We'll report on one more thing regarding that in a moment. And there's an article here because I can see I'm out of time. There's a warning here about the Kurds that I'll leave for you to read. And then sort of what's Trump up to. We do know that the aircraft carrier convoy, the Abraham Lincoln, is now arrived. They have the fighter jets that are needed, the air defense systems in place. It seems like it's the old-fashioned chicken fight. Who's going to blink first? Iran is threatening that it's going to just give everything that it has if they're struck. And Trump is saying, because there was an assassination threat or whatever, and Trump counters back saying, we will wipe Iran off the face of the map. So that's where we stand today. Like I said, everything can change in minutes. It's the Middle East. So days become years in a sense. Everything can change in a day. This article's worth me reading, extending our time. The free world cannot look away. In a chilling reminder of how tyrannical the regimes cling to power in Iran are, a young Iranian soldier has reportedly been sentenced to death, not for committing violence, but for refusing to carry it out. According to the Iran Human Rights Society, the soldier identified as Javid Kels was arrested after he declined an order to open fire on peaceful protesters during Iran's massive nationwide unrest. And so described, again, this basic humanity of this young man has now placed him on death row inside of Iranian prisons. And again, the free world, please, we cannot ignore this and look away. As I mentioned, Hamas's conditions to demilitarize, I love this. The terror group wants to seek political legitimacy, immunity from targeted killings. We know what Israel's capable of. Integration into the PA security forces, and its own armed presence in Gaza to protect its senior officials. So that's what they're saying. They want political legitimacy. What's going to happen? The question. I end with this. I got this from All Israel News, from Joel Rosenberg's newsletter that went out, and I think it's a must read. It's a must read for Christian Zionists. If you want to understand the who, what, why, and where of Christian Zionism, take the time to click on this link and read this article. So with that, out of time, blessings and shalom.